about that. Okay. So, to get started, could you please provide us with a brief introduction of who you are and what your role in STEM is, and how did you get to this point in your career?
Okay, my name is Wanchi Lucia, and I'm from Cameroon, specifically from Northwest region. And in CMU, literally, I study artificial intelligence, so I'm doing a master's in engineering AI, and more focused on doing research around language technologies and building solutions around low resource languages, as in languages that do not have a lot of data out there, so you don't find regular models about them. And very interested in sign language, which I'm really pivoted on right now. Yeah, because the deaf and dumb community in Africa and the worst of it back home is really a lot, and only the top 1% of the rich people literally get to all-inclusive schools, and the others are left to compete with us, like us who can hear, who can talk. And I have a classmate who is literally in his 6th year of a 3 years program, just because there are really no tools to help him study and things like that. So when I actually came here, initially I wanted to like get into cybersecurity, do AI in cybersecurity, but as I got into the courses and I saw the opportunities for me to actually build solutions around these people and build models around these people. So literally that is why I got into sign language research right now. So apart from being a student, I work as a research assistant in one of the labs back in school, the language and vision lab of my school. So, sign language is an intersection of language and computer vision, since you have to like work with videos to like exactly. So literally that is what I do, and that is what my research is all about. And how did I get here? I can say it's a long story. First, like I said, I'm from the Northwest region of Cameroon, and as we all know, there have been this instability in Cameroon for a very long time. I did my first undergrad, that was 2018. I studied electronics engineering. Then from there, due to the unrest, the education path wasn't like really stable. So at the end of the day, you are done, you have a degree, but you have nothing to show for it, and you're an engineer. When I went for my final internship, I was like, nah, there's no way I'm surviving in this field with what I have currently. So I decided to do business. I got into pastries. My mom has been this person who gets everybody home to bake. So I decided to like hone the skills in pastries. I became a very good baker. Actually, I was doing well as a business person. But then growing up, I've always wanted to be an engineer. So I did business for over 4 years, from 2018 to 2022. And around August 2022, I started having those questions again. Is this where you really wanted to be? Are you settling here just because of your circumstances? Will you let these circumstances actually hold you, stop you from being who you are? And mind you, at that point of my life, it was more of like, business was okay, yes. So going to school is like, okay, I'm embracing being broke. I'm embracing going back to the life of, yes, sir, please, sir. But then I weighed the options, like, I won't overthink this, because if I overthought about it, I wouldn't go back. So I just decided that, fine, I will go back to school. So what next? Computer engineering. Okay, computer engineering, where? There were 2 big options. Either I write the competitive exams, where I have to write maths, physics, and English, which I left like 6 to 7 years before, competing with people who just came out, or I go and pay like over $1 million in a private school. And I had a month to decide, because the competitive exam was like going to be written in a month. I made that decision in August. This exam was supposed to be written in September. What I did was I said I'll write the exams. I took the month, I studied, I attended preparatory classes. I did a lot of math I had not done for a while. And then when I wrote this, they needed 200 students and we were 1,800 literally. Yeah, and my name was the first on the wait list. Yeah, my name was the first on the wait list, and I don't know, someone just said, okay, I had another offer, thank you. That's how big I had to go back to school, to a public school, like one of the best public schools, but then that's why it's tough to get there, because you pay just a fee of $100, but then you get top-notch like knowledge actually. So So I went there. And that is now where I saw. Initially, I was looking at myself like, okay, I've spent a lot of time on the street. I've spent a lot of time in business. So I wouldn't make it in this place, in this school place. And I am with students who like, literally, that was my first time getting into computer engineering. I'm getting coding. The only thing I got to do was C++ before. Like, you're getting Python, you're getting JavaScript. And then there are people who are correcting teachers and you know nothing. But then that is where one of the skills of surviving from the business world like set in actually. So I had to like apply my people skills that I learned. I humbled myself. I went to people, asked questions, did the work literally, and that's how I graduated with the first class.
Oh,
And upon graduating from my undergrad, I had a master's offer waiting for me at CMU Africa, a fully funded one. So it has just been a journey of faith. It's been a journey of, how can I call it? The drive has been unstoppable. Yeah, irrespective of the environment where I come from, what happens around me, and maybe the circumstances even. I just told myself they wouldn't stop me, and that is how I got here.
wow, that's wonderful. Your story sounds so exciting and like so much of a roller coaster. Well, that's wonderful. And
Mhm.
I'm very interested when you said that you're studying about the sign language aspect of
Mhm.
creating languages. It's
Mhm.
not something I would have thought. I guess it's not something that people would usually see as an issue if you're not aware. So, what really
Mhm.
got you into the sign language aspect of the
Language.
yeah, exactly, the languages?
Yeah, like I told you, I had a classmate, Joy. This guy doesn't talk, he doesn't hear. So what he does in class is literally just collect the handouts and read. So no matter what the teacher is saying, he doesn't get anything. So when I got here, what even made me think about him again is we had this class project, and I was just researching on like like ideas that are not regular, unique ideas to work on. Initially, like I said, I wanted to do cybersecurity. So I was just doing research around unique ideas to work and boom, I come around a data set about Central African Sign Language. I said, Bert, if there is a data set about Central African Sign Language, there's something that can be done for this, my friend. There's something that we can do about it. In as much as the data set is small, like it's so small, but we could start from somewhere. So I had to literally push my team to like work on that project. Like, so that is where we actually started. Like, that is where the drive for sign language actually started. I started doing extra research. Actually, my team members really didn't know what was pushing me to say, let's work on this because it was a difficult project. All they needed in class was you train a model that can do something. But then I had to take them through where they would go through rigorous pre-processing, do computer vision that nobody had an idea about it yet and things like that. But it was because of like, I thought about this guy and I thought about a billion others because back home, the only all-inclusive school I know, a primary school costs 3 million francs CFA. That is about $500 a year. The average salary back home, nobody can afford that unless like the top very rich. So this had been around me. How do we get these people? And to think Joy has not been my only classmate who was there, and there have been others, like really many others. So that is what actually drew my attention to it, the need to like make education easier for this 99% who can't afford what the 1% are affording. Yeah.
Wow, that seems like such an amazing um, goal, an amazing drive as well. And you had mentioned that you were in business, and then so you went to undergrad, and then you went to business and pivoted back to undergrad. So,
Mhm.
apart from the challenge of being out of school for so long and then coming back and meeting other people who are just fresh out of school, it seems like their brain is more used to this, and you might have had to refresh or jog your memory a little. Are there any other challenges that you would say you encountered pivoting back to school, and how did you overcome those?
The very first challenge I encountered getting back to school was getting broke. Yeah, it was more than 4 years. It was over 4 years. I get what I want when I want. And now you're confined in school. You need to study. And I faced it. The idea was you go, since I was into catering, I was like, okay, weekend I'll work, then I'll go to school on weekdays. Then I realized you have to even be in school from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You go home, you have assignments, weekends you don't even have time for yourself. So the first reality set in. You have to like separate yourself from that business if you want to make real impact here. So that was the first thing. I got broke. And I started questioning myself, like, did I sign up to get punished or something? Because at that point, I was literally, actually, I was punishing myself. I couldn't like give my parents the burden of all of those. They had my younger brother to like cater for. My dad was retired, so only my mom could like step in. So I could not even afford to be part of that burden to them. So that was one of the things like, okay, I'm broke. Can I afford my fees? Can I afford my house rent? Can I afford internet connection that I need for studies? The rest God will provide. That's all I put in my head. And I was like, okay, the drive to like get to where I wanted to be. If this is the only way, since I can't afford $1 million a year, if this is the only way, then I will do it. And that was it. That's what kept me going. And then, yeah, that's literally how I came up with that. And then I had this other lecturer who actually picked out the difference between me and another student. So he will actually try to make me talk about maybe what I'm going through or something. And he's like, if you have any issues, you could talk. But I was never the one who talks though. But then just the thought of there's somebody who literally can figure out the difference and can listen if I want to talk kept me going too. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And during your time in school, have you encountered any misconceptions or stereotypes about African women in STEM or African women in your field? And how do you think we can overcome these?
The man thing. When you go there, it's either you become a man, like you have the masculine energy, you not take care of yourself. They were like, look at this girl. She used to do her hair very well, but now she's always in cornrows. They are always old. So first, there's this misconception of you need to be masculine to survive in this field. You don't have to be. The masculine energy is there. I don't need a male brain to understand coding. So in as much as it needs you to like step out of the all baby girl vibe, you need to know that there are times that nobody will come to your rescue, but you still need to be you. You don't have to change to like survive in this field. They say, so first, you don't have to be masculine to survive in this field. That's first. Second, they said the women in this field get arrogant and yeah, this is like a very big stereotype, especially back home. Like when you're successful, especially in technology, and there's potential for you to like get to earn more than maybe the man you marry one day, and things like that. You might become not submissive. You might not regard the society. You might not follow rules. My first question is STEM the cause of all of those? Because I feel like if somebody's changing, that is you changing. That is your environment pushing you, not them. So I would just say the only way we can actually break through this is ensuring that we go through the process without validating what the society is saying and not living on our toe, not doing it because we are struggling not to validate what the society is saying, but doing it because that's us. Doing it because there is wisdom in feminism. We have the brains to understand this without leaving out ourselves, our purpose, and what we are meant to do and what we are meant to be. Without forgetting who we are. We can do all of this. You can be the biggest computer engineer, software engineer with Google, and you're still okay, you're still feminine, you still talk, you still take care of yourself, you still look good. Yes, actually. So that's one of the ways we can actually get out of this life. Just not doing it because we are proving to the world, but doing it because that is who we are. Yeah. We are smart, we are pretty, we are soft, and we can handle everything we like. We can face anything that comes to us, and we remain ourselves.
Thank you so much for that. That was really great. That was really nice because I understand a lot of people thinking that you would have to be masculine to remain in the field, or maybe, oh, you're so busy, you don't want to take care of yourself. But that's definitely not true because
Mm.
I feel like there are a lot of examples, a lot of role models out there, especially in the STEM fields, that show us that yes, you can have the beauty and the brains, you can take care of yourself and still look good and still be able to achieve all the things you need to achieve. So thank you so much for that.
You're
And
welcome.
um, what would you say are some what would you say is some advice you would have to give to young women who are considering studying or pursuing a career in STEM or even in technology?
One thing I'll tell them is if you are a chicken-hearted person, don't come. Yeah, if you're a chicken-hearted person who don't want to like hold your things together, sit on this table and say, I'll figure this out, do not come. Second, if you're this person who wants to do things alone, like I know it all, don't get into STEM. Because in STEM, when you try to know it all, you stay in one position. If you're this person who don't want to study all the time, don't even get into STEM because by the time you learn this theory, the next one is already out. Before you master this framework, the next framework is already out. But then what I want to say more like why you should come is the fact that in as much as there is this stereotype out there, that is not the truth. You should have your anchor first of who you are. If you want to get into STEM, know that you have the brains to do it. You can handle everything. Yeah, you can handle what comes with it. Yeah, and you should know that you're an avid learner. Everybody can learn. So do not look at where you are now. You can even start today and get better. I remember there is this cybersecurity program I was attending earlier, Cyber Safe Foundation. There were people who were nurses who got into cybersecurity and they were doing well. So it's not about how much you've known before. Have you even touched a computer before? Even if you've never touched a computer before and you're interested in STEM, like now is the time. Now is the time because first, people have already walked the way. You can learn from others' mistakes. There are people to hold your hands. There are people to listen to you and even relate to your story if you're feeling low. And it's okay to feel low because it's not an easy journey. In as much as the people inside are doing very well and looking very nice and still soft, doesn't mean it's an easy journey. You need to like, you just be ready to handle it. Say, okay, this is the way I'm taking, and there's no going back. I can do this thing. I will learn. I'll put in all the energy I need to learn. Even if it comes with a trade-off at times, though, because someone like me, at times I spend all my time in school. If this was a weekday, I would be in school right now. I go to school at 8 a.m. because after school work, I have assignments. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
So if this was a work day, I would have been in school right now because after school work, I have assignments, I have lab work, and I have personal research. So all of this comes with a trade-off. But then, what better time to get into it than now? Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all your for everything that you've said today. This has been a really impactful interview, very insightful as well. And thank you so much for taking the time out to share your story with SWIS Africa. We really appreciate it. So that would bring us to the official end of today's interview.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time again and even for taking this time to meet with us. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Lily. Thank you. This have actually got me to just retrospect of like how far I've come, and because lately it's been like this thing is a lot. I need to rest. But then looking at how far I've come by just thinking and talking about it, it's just always a way to like say you can do better. There's more out there, go get it. So I really appreciate this opportunity and I will always be open for any other thing. And
Okay,
I'm really
thank
grateful.
you so much. We really appreciate that and we will definitely keep you in mind.
Thank you very much, Lily.